thought-provoking, and seeing your answers was quite emotive, actually. So I hope we can all learn something from that and take it on board. So today, we're going to learn about rounding within a million, and we might want to think about why rounding is important. But when we're working with statistics, and also when we want to check answers in our calculations, it's really easy if we can round and understand a lesson more than understand. If we can look and see what a rounded answer might be, it gives us a better idea if our calculation is correct. So let's begin. So today's learning outcomes, we are to know what multiples or between a number falls between. So for instance, if we've got the number 79, it would fall between 70 and 80. So it would fall between the multiples of 10 of 70 and 80. If we had 654, it would fall between 600 and 700. And if we had the number 11,627, it would fall between 11,000 and 12,000, or 11,600 and 11,700. If you're wondering why I'm looking a bit confused, at the moment I'm not getting any comments through from you from our virtual school comments. So I'm just going to refresh the page and see what I can do. So there you are. Good morning, Fatima. Good morning, Summer. Good morning, Safi. Good morning, Rihanna. Good morning, Jay. Good morning, Demi Lee. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Livy. I was a bit worried that you weren't out there then. I was getting very, very confused. Good morning, Isla. Good morning, Amy Lee. Good morning, Cole. It's nice to have you all there and know that you're there. It makes me feel a whole lot better. So now perhaps I'll be able to focus a bit better. Okay, so we have to know when to round up and when to round down. So if we're rounding to the nearest 10, do we go to the next 10? Do we stay within the 10 that we are? So, and to be able to round whole numbers and decimals, which is a really important thing that we need to do by the end of today. So, thinking about setting our maths brain in action, because again, as I say, your English lesson has just made me think so much. Your brain teaser. So we've got the numbers 7 and 8. What can you put between a 7 and an 8 so that the result is greater than 7 but less than 8? Over to you. Good morning, Cole. I'm good, thank you. Hope you are too. Oh, interesting. I like that, Amy. It isn't quite the answer, but it is. It's really good. It's not one that I actually thought of when I did it. Oh, Isla, you've come up with the same answer as Amy Lee. That's interesting. Hi, Chloe B. Oh, I'm loving these answers. I've got quite a few have said 7.5. quite a few of you have said, oh, Zach, nice to have you on board. You've got the correct answer, Rihanna. Good try, but that isn't greater than 7 or less than 8. Lots of you think that it is 7.5. So you knew it was a decimal, so you were halfway there. But actually, it's just a decimal point to make the number 7.8. So 0.8 is greater than 7 and 0.2 is less than 8. So if you put a decimal point between the 7 and 8, it gives you a number that is greater than 7 but less than 8. But there were some amazing answers there. Well done. Good morning, Jude. Quite a lot of you with me today. It's lovely to see. So I actually found that one quite funny, as you can see, and I should have put the ha 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 along earlier, but hey ho. I think I'm having one of those days today. So our previous learning, what we need to know, what we need to dredge up from our mathematical brains. Okay, so we need to know when to round up or down. When is that the rounding that we want to do? Do we want to go to the number higher, or will our number round down? What column you need to look at when you're rounding? So what column do you need to look at if you're rounding to the nearest 10? What column, good morning, Aman, by the way, what column do you need to look at when you're rounding to the nearest 1,000? What column do you need to look at if you're rounding to the nearest 100,000? So you need to know what place value, that thing I always talk about all of the time, place value. You need to understand place value to understand what column you need to look at and what digit should be in the columns of the rounded number. So for instance, if we round by to the nearest 100, we should have zeros in the tens and units column. That shows us that we've rounded by 100. If we're rounding by 10,000, then we need 4 zeros, 0 in the thousands column, 0 in the hundreds column, 0 in the tens column, and a 0 in the units or ones column. But we're going to be looking at that more closely. Our mathematical talk this morning. What have we previously learned? What do we already know? We know that numbers that round down are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if the number to the right of the number that we are rounding has a 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the column, then we're rounding down. And numbers that round up are 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So if we have a number to the right of the number that we're rounding that is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, then we're going to round up. Good morning, Alex. So this morning, I've got a video for us to play. Now, I have found this very, very tricky to set up. So you're just going to have to bear with me a little bit. But in good old rap style of MC Grammar, I found the rounding rap. So I'm going to try and play it for you. So here goes. I'm very, very nervous about doing this. So you'll have to just bear with me a moment. I've been practicing it loads and loads. So hopefully I will be able to get it on for you.
Ready? Here we go. Wiki. Find the place value. Circle that digit, then move to the right and underline it. 0 through 4. The circle stays the same. But 5 through 9, adding 1 is the game. Now, flex your muscle, just like a hero. Digits to the right, change to 0. All the other numbers stay the same. Yo, you're a winner in the rounding game. You got that? Let's do it. One more time, for the little people. Here we go. Find the place value and circle the digit. Move to the right and underline it. 0 through 4. The circle right turn into 0. All the other numbers, they stay the same. Yo, you're a winner in the rounding game.
Yeah. You circle the number that you want to round. So that's the important part. As soon as you know what you want to round, the digit that you want to round to the place value, you circle that digit. Then look at the number on the right, to the right. And if it is a 4 or below, then your circled number stays the same. Oh, Miss Francois, thank you very much. She said that she doesn't know why you couldn't hear it. She just had to turn up the sound on her laptop. So thank you, Miss Francois. So if it is a 4 or below, then your circled number stays the same. If it is a 5 or above, you add 1 to your circled number, and finally the digits after the rounded number becomes a 0, and that's how you become a rounding hero. So what does this look like then? Okay, so what does this look like? Let's start off with something simple. 450,985. Now remember, at this moment in time, we are listening. You will get your chance to flex your rounding muscle shortly, don't worry. So we're going to start off simple with 450,985. Rounded to the nearest 10. Okay, so we circle the digit in the tens column. Oh, I've got a column twice, sorry about that. So we circle the number, the 8, because that's a number in the tens column. So we've circled that. So I'm a bit confused. So 8 is a digit that will change. So is 8 the digit that will change or stay the same here? Look at the number in the units column, it is 5, but I'm a bit confused. Trying to get that video working has made me very nervous. So should I round up or down? I can't quite remember. Over to you. So I've got a 5 in my units column. Should I round up or down? My first answer's coming in, I think. Thank you, Amy. E. Thank you, Isla. Thank you, Summer. Thank you, John Paul. Thank you, Chloe D, helping out my confused, nervous brain this morning. Good morning, Lexi. Thank you. Yes, I do. Cole, thank you. Yes. Demi, yeah, that's what it is. Zach, yeah. Amy Lee, Aman. Brilliant. You're all correct. You've all helped me out. You're right. I need to round up. So 450,985. I add 1 to the 8, so it becomes 9 here. Obviously, it's not a 1, it's a 10. But as I keep repeating that, we always talk in ones because it's easier for our maths brain to work for some reason. Then 5 becomes a 0 to show that I've rounded to the nearest 10 because I have 1 0 in 10. So my rounded number is 450,990. Okay, so your turn. So we've got a writing figure here. Using what we've just learned, round the following number to the nearest 10. 932,964. So over to you. Oh, good morning, Safi. You're with us too. So let's have a go. Who's going to be fastest finger with the answer for us? Okay, I want you to round the whole list. Some answers are coming up. Some answers are coming up, but I want you to round the whole number for me. I want the answer. Okay? So well done to Cole, your fastest finger with the correct answer. Oh, Lexi, just check that for me. Jude, well done. Zach, would you like to try again for me, please? And Chloe D, you're almost there. But just think about it. Think about what we've followed and what we already know about rounding. So it's this number that's going to be a clue for us. Just check it for me. John Paul, Summer, well done. Oh, Demi, be careful. Check that for me. That's better, Lexi. Well done. Okay, so let's have a look then. Let's go through this. I started off with 932,964. Thinking back to what I've learned, the first thing I'm going to do is circle my tens number, which is a 6. Okay, I circled the tens number and looked at the digit to the right. The digit to the right is 4. It is a 4, so 6 stays the same and 0 moves into the units column because I'm rounding this number down. So it needs to round down because it's a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, bend your knees and touch the floor. So we're going down. So our rounded number should have been 932,960. So well done to all of you who got that. Remember the rhyme. Get the rhyme or the rap in your head. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend your knees and touch the floor. Touching the floor means you go down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Reaching up to the washing line. So if you're reaching up, you're rounding up. So try and get that or the rounding rap in your head to help you. Okay. So remember, we circle the tens number because we're rounding to the nearest 10. Then we look at the number to the right. So if that number is 1, 2, 3, 4, then we're going to round down. Going back to what I said before about knowing what your numbers fall between. So for instance, 932,964, if we were finding the nearest 10, it would fall between 932,960 and 932,970. But because 4 is here, and if it was on a number line, 4 would be closer to 0 than it would be to 9. So we're rounding down. Okay, so we should be able to apply this method to rounding numbers to the nearest 10, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. So we'll go back to our original number, 450,985. Let's round to the nearest 10,000. So at the moment you're listening. Don't try and send me an answer because you need to be listening now. Okay. So 450,985. I'm going to circle the number in the tens thousands column. Excuse me. So that's the 5. Again, it's that knowing our place value. Okay, so 450,985. Here is our tens of thousands number, digit. Okay, so we'll circle that number, the tens of thousands number, and then we'll look to the number in the thousands column to the right. Right being that way. So that number is a 0. So we've got a 0 here. Okay, so that should make this quite simple for us because we don't need to worry about these digits here. This is the only one that's important to us at the moment. It's a 0. So are we going to round up or round down? It is a 0 in the tens of that. Oh, it should be the thousands column. So the number will stay the same. So 5 will stay the same. It won't round up, it will stay the same. The answer, 450,985, rounded to the nearest 10,000 is 450,000. Okay, because we are rounding to the nearest 10,000, it has 4 zeros here. So our answer should have 4 zeros to show that we have rounded to the nearest 10,000. We've got 450,000. Okay, so zeros in the thousand, hundred, tens, and units column. The 4 zeros tell us that we have rounded to the nearest 10,000. So always thinking about what we can use as clues to help us. So again, I will reiterate that the 4 zeros, because we're rounding to the nearest 10,000, means that we should have 4 zeros here. Okay, so over to you again. Using what we have just learned, round the following number to the nearest 10,000. So 539,612. And just because we rounded down in the previous number doesn't mean that we'll be rounding down in this one. It's getting your mathematical brain working. So have a look and think about rounding, finding the tens of thousands number, look into the number to the digit at the right of it, and then work out whether you're rounding up or down, and also remember how many zeros you need there. Over to you. Wow, Isla, that was quick, closely followed by Chloe D. Two of you really quick, followed by Summer. Well done. Oh, Jay, think about it. We're looking at rounding to the nearest 10,000. So we're circling our 10,000s number. And these are the digits that should be changing this one at the moment because we're rounding to the nearest 10,000 will stay the same. Almost there, Aman, but think about whether we're rounding up or we're rounding down. Zach, do you want to check that answer for me? Because again, we're rounding to the nearest 10,000. So we've got a 3 in our tens of thousands column. And this 100,000 number at the time in this number should stay the same. Oh, Fatima, think about what we just learned about what should happen if I'm rounding to the nearest 10,000. What should happen to these digits? So think about what happened previously and what we need to, how we know we've rounded to the nearest 10,000. Almost getting there. Well done to Amon. Zach, think about the tens of thousands number digit and this digit here. What does that tell you about whether you round up or down? Yes, Miss Francois, I'm getting that loud and clear. Well done, Amon. You've got that answer correct. Oh, Fatima, think again. How many digits have I got in this number? It's 100,000 number, so I've got 6 digits. So there should be 6 digits in your answer. And I'm rounding by 10,000. So how many zeros should be in my answer? Right, I think I'm going to put you out of your miseries in about another minute, just to give you, some of you who are almost there, just to go back and check your answer. Good try, Jean-Paul, but not quite there. There. Well done, Cole. Right, so let's go over the answer together then. So I started off with 539,612, and I circled my tens of thousands digits. So I've got 3 tens of thousands, 30,000. So I'm going to then look to the digit on my right here. So I circled the 3 and looked at the digit to the right of the 3. It is a 9, so I add 1 to the 3 to round it up. It becomes 4, then zeros in the thousands, hundreds, tens, and units column. So my answer should be 540,000. Okay, so we'll go over this again, because I thought that you might get this quite easily, but I can see that some of you are working hard to understand the concept of rounding, but I haven't quite got there. And I think in my next slide, I move on to rounding a decimal. So because I can't alter the slides as we're moving on, we'll talk through this again. Okay, so we've got 539,612, and we're rounding to the nearest 10,000. So if I'm rounding to the nearest 10,000, then I know I should have 4 zeros in my answer. Here they are, down here. So the first thing that I want to do is circle my tens of thousands number, which in this case is a 3. 3 tens of thousands, which is 30,000. So now I need to know whether I want to I need to round that number up or whether it will stay the same. So here on the right in the thousands column, I look at this digit, this number to the digit to the right of the 3, to the right of the number that I want to round. It's a 9. Thinking about the rhyme or the rap, 1, 2, 3, 4, bend your knees and touch the floor. Okay, so touch the floor means we're going down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I can't be rounding down because I've got a 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, reaching up to the washing line. So my 3 has to be rounding up. So we add 1. So I'm going to add 1 to it because I need to round it up 1, because this 9 will take another 10 here. And so the tens of thousands here. So that will become a 4 because I've rounded up. So then my answer is 54,000. And then I know I've rounded up to the nearest 10,000. I'll keep saying this because I've got 4 zeros in my answer, and there are 4 zeros in 10,000. If I was rounding it to the nearest thousand, then I would have 3 zeros. Okay, so you need to use what is there to help you. So this one won't be on the screen, but I'm going to ask you to round another hundreds, thousands number for me to the nearest tens of thousands. So 657,129. So 657,129. I'll say that again. It should have 6 digits. 657,129. 657,129. Okay, and we're going to round to 10,000. So what I'd like you to do is write that number down. So, and circle the tens of thousands number. When you've circled the tens of thousands number, look to the number on the right. So in your number, it will be this digit. Okay. So then, will you round up or down? And what will your answer be? So if you can send me your answer, that would be amazing. Well done, Amy Lee. Just check you've got the right number of digits in your answer though, please. Well done, Amy E. There straight away. Oh, sorry, Jude, I said 5,400 at some point. Well done, Summer, you've got that. This is looking much better now. Well done, John Paul. The number that I said was 657,129, 657,129. Right, listen to the number that I read out, please. I know it's difficult when you can't see the number on the board. And, oh, I've got it. If I write it down, I've written the answer as well. Let me see if I can get the number up for you. Miss Francois is kindly sending me instructions as we speak. I'm not sure whether that will help, whether you can see that number now. I don't know whether that helped anybody, if you can see that number now. 657,129. And hopefully I'm back with you. Okay, so right, I'll have to go back to right, so we're getting better. Okay, so we have got an answer, a correct answer. Isla, well done. So our answer was 660,000. So you should have 660,000 in your answer. Okay. So in a few weeks' time, I think we have a slot called over to you, as I put in my slides over to you. And next week, towards the end of the week, you'll be given the chance to put in requests for what you'd like us to revisit again from all the learning that we've done. So that if you think that you want to come back to rounding, I can do a another slot on rounding for you. It's not a problem. So you just have to let me know. So moving on. Question. What happens when we round decimals? We use exactly the same strategy. So we apply the same strategy to rounding decimals that we do to rounding whole numbers. Okay, so let's give it a go. We'll give it a go. We will round 3.97 to the nearest whole number. Okay, so let's have a look. Circle 3, then look at the digit to the right. So I'm going to circle 3, and then I'm going to look at the digit to the right, which is the 9. Okay, so it's a 9. Can anyone remember, if it's a 9, do we round up or do we round down? Just answer me that question. If we've got a 9 in the column, the digit in the column to the right, are we going to round up or down? You've given me the answer, Aman, which is very good, but we're on this symbol at the moment, so we should just be listening. We were listening, but now you should be just answering me. Am I going to round up or down? So I just want the answer up or down from you. Simple as that. Well done, Amy, Isla, Demi. I'm going to round. I'm not going to give that answer away yet, but you are correct. Yes, Summer, you are correct. Well done. John Paul, you are correct. Well done. So all of you that have come in have so far told me that I'm going to round up. Okay, so it is a 9, so we round up. So we add a 1 to the 3. So it becomes a 4 and zeros in the tenths and hundredths column. 4.00. Who can tell me how I should actually write this number? Now I've got my answer of 4.00. How should I actually write that number? So how should I write 4.00? As we look at it every day, how would I write 4.00? Lexi, well done. You've got the answer. Amy E, well done. Isla, well done. Oh, Lexi, you had the correct answer further up. Summer, well done. John Paul, well done. Four. Well, that's how we should see it. Every time we see the number 4, there is a decimal point and 00 there all the time, but we just don't use the 0.00 because it would just make reading our numbers way too complicated. Okay, so well done, Amy Lee. Thank you, John Paul. So over to you. Okay, so using what we've just learned, round the following decimal to the nearest whole number. Okay, think very, very carefully about what we need to do first. Jot that number down, circle the number. We're rounding to a whole number, so we're going to circle our whole number. Look at the digit to the right. What is it? Are we touching the floor? Are we rounding down, rounding up? 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend your knees and touch the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Are we rounding up or down? Well done. That's a fast answer, Amy. Oh, well, hello, welcome. Love seeing new names. Summer, well done. Isla, well done. We are rounding up. You are correct. All those rounding up children, but are we? What is the answer? This is over to you. So I'd like an answer from you. I've got a couple of answers, like I said. Isla, yes. Lexi, well done. You're doing really, really well. I'm very proud of all of you. Remember, John Paul, we're rounding to the nearest whole number. Think about what was on the previous screen. Okay, so let's have a look. 5.61. I circle my whole number because that's the number that I want to round to. I circled the 5 and looked at the digit to the right. It is a 6, so I added 1 to the 5 to round up. It becomes 6, then zeros in the 10th and 100th column. Correctly written as 6, which is the answer lots of you gave me, so well done. Well done. I can see that this is a lesson that some of you are really trying hard to understand, and well done. Well done for your resilience. So, using the same number, what we have just learned, let's round the following decimal to the nearest tenth. Okay, so we've got 5.61 again. Okay, what I'm going to do, because I want to round to the nearest tenth, I'm going to circle the tenth, this number, this digit here, that's the tenth. And then I will look at the digit to the right. Okay, so I circled the tenth and looked at the digit to the right. It is a 1, so I know 6 will stay the same. To show I've rounded to the nearest tenth, a 0 in the 100th column. Okay, 5.60, correctly written as 5.6. So I'm going to go over that again because I'm going to give you one of these to do next. So because I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, I looked at the digit in the tenths column and circled it. Then I looked to the digit at the right in the hundredths column, saw that it was a 1, remembering the rhyme 1, 2, 3, 4, bend your knees and touch the floor. So I know I'm rounding down, and if I'm rounding down, my 6 will stay the same. It will only change if I am rounding up. So 5.60, because I've put a 0 in to remind myself that I'm rounding to the nearest tenth. But we don't need the 0 there when we record the number. So our answer is 5.6. See if you can have a go this time. Okay, so we're going to round to the nearest tenth, exactly the same as what we've just done. 7.83. Okay, so we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So jot it down if you need to. Think about what number you are rounding, your tenth, so that's the number you circle. Look at the number to the right and then work from there. And let's see how we do. Oh, some right answers already. Atmo, that was really quick. I knew fastest finger first. Amy, next. Well done. Summer, excellent. I think you're finding rounding decimals a lot easier than you did rounding whole numbers. Well done, Isla. Well done, John Paul. Well done, Demi. Well done, Cole. I think that's the answer to the previous one. So let's see if we can get an answer to this one, the one that we are working on now. I'll give you one more minute. Don't know what it's like for you, but when I'm sitting here waiting for answers, it seems that it's a long time, but I think maybe it isn't so long for you. And I just go too fast. So if I am ever going too quickly, you just need to drop me a comment and ask me to slow down a little bit. That is fine if I'm not giving you enough working out time. So let's have a look then. 7.83. I'm going to circle the number in the tenths column. And I circled the 8 and looked at the digit to the right. It is a 3, so 8 stays the same. And to show I've rounded to the nearest tenth, a 0 in the hundredth column. 7.80. And that is correctly written as 7.8. Because zeros are always there as placeholders in any number that we write. And as I keep saying, it's if we wrote them, then just actual basic calculations would be way too difficult. So that is our lesson today. I was hoping to give you a bit of time to go to start your doodle maths work on rounding, but I don't know whether some of you want to go over the work again. Mr. Croxon said, for those of you that the video didn't work for, that he will put it in Google Classroom for you so you can have a listen to it, so you can listen to the rap. So you might just want to listen to the rap and have a sing along to that. Practice the rhyme: 1, 2, 3, 4, bend your knees and touch the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, reaching up and touch the washing line. Just practice that if you want. If you need a break, that's fine. If you've been so resilient and pushing your limits during that lesson, and you think, oh, I just need a brain break, that is fine. Lunch time is 5 minutes away anyway, so just start your lunch time a little bit earlier. And then this afternoon, complete the doodle activities for English and math. Thank you for joining me. I hope we got there in the end. If not, just like I said, in a couple of weeks' time, we're having an over to you lesson. So I'm going to touch on things that you want me to revisit or you're not so confident in. And we'll have just a live lesson that looks at those. So just send me what you'd like me to go over and I'll do that for you. Have a lovely long weekend. I don't know about you, but I've got a street party to look forward to, a socially distancing street party to look forward to. So fingers crossed that the weather stays nice. And although that's really lovely to look forward to, it's a little bit sad. My daughter should have been getting married on Saturday, but with coronavirus, we've had to postpone her wedding. So I've got a nice outfit, some amazing shoes that I'm not going to get to wear just yet. But we're all keeping safe and well, and that's the most important thing. Whatever you're doing this weekend, have a lovely time. I hope the weather stays nice. I believe the weather forecast is. Have a great rest, and I'll see you again on Tuesday. Lovely speaking to you. See you soon. Bye.